The FBI set me up with a corrupt briefing and then leaked that to smear me. I am. No, I mean,
I'm sorry. All right.
I think they let in a bunch of college students. Our colleges today aren't exactly teaching history. They're really not talking about the relevant things that students really ought to learn in college. They're being taught leftist propaganda, unfortunately.
Ron Johnson has a conspiracy as to why he got laughed off the stage during his debate with Mandela Barnes. And it wasn't because of his pathetic performance.
And when you said you were set up by the FBI, the crowd laughed. Who was in that crowd, and have they been following the news? Do you want to put that in context?
Well, I think they let in a bunch of college students. We were supposed to both get 50 audience members, and the crowd was much larger than that. So they hate me. There's no doubt about it. The establishment in Washington, D.C. I've seen many elements in the mainstream media. I'm pointing out how corrupt and complicit the media is as well, and that's been on full display in the last two debates I've had. Incredibly biased questions set up in very biased settings.
It has cost us more not to complete the wall that we already contracted for than to actually build it.
All right. What do you find admirable about your opponent?
Well, no, seriously. I do think, the senator has proven to be a family man.
He had a good upbringing. I guess what puzzles me about that is with that upbringing, why is he turned against America? I mean, why does he find the founding of America awful?
Somehow.
It puzzles me.
We did not.
And you chose to answer it the way you did, and you heard the audience there. Go ahead and explain yourself.
Well, first of all, I did point out the fact that he was raised by loving parents. Mother was a school teacher, father worked third shift. But it was a crowd comprised primarily of Marquette College students. So we thought it was going to be 50 of our supporters, 50 of his, but instead it was hundreds of Marquette College students. And they didn't like hearing the truth, unfortunately.
A staffer for Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson texted a staffer for Vice President Pence just minutes before the beginning of the joint session. This staffer stated that Senator Johnson wished to hand-deliver to the vice president the fake electors' votes from Michigan and Wisconsin.
How much did you know about what your chief of staff was doing with the alternate slates of electors? No, you're not. I can see your phone. I can see your screen.
Explain what your chief of staff was doing. That's a complete non-story. We've issued a statement. And it's a non-story. I don't know what you're even concerned about. Well, somebody delivered this to our office and asked to deliver that to the vice president.
Did you support his efforts to try to get those slates to the vice president?
No, I had no knowledge of this.
Who's the person?
I had no involvement in an alternate slate of electors.